Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I'm back off being joined once again by Nick and Jimmy.
Hey everybody.
You're supposed to be like always.
Nah, I'm
Yeah, Like
good.
like like always. Let's do it again from the top.
Nah, we're getting into this now.
Do it. We're doing it again from the top.
So today's matchup is me versus Nick, Broly yellow green versus Broly red green. Yeah, let's have some fun. Like always, buttons down below. Feel free to click them. They're there for a reason. But let's get into it. We've seen both these decks before on channel. They've both been changed to some degree, either very minor or major. Nick, do you want to talk about your new tech you added to this deck?
Yeah. So Jake built this as an homage to me because he saw my build of it, so he built a version of his that was very similar. But he added the new SR Vegeta from the newest set. It's a red green. You'll see it in action here in just a second. I think I played in this game, but um, it does a lot of work. Dual attacking blocker. Draws you a card, so it replaces itself, and it's a double blocker too. It's a pretty neat card. I put it in. That's the only real change I made just to see how it works, and I liked it a lot. It did a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean it's a card that can. It's a red green multicolor card that you could potentially charge turn one if you go second. Because if your opponent has 5 or less cards in hand, it ignores energy exhaustion. If correct.
Yeah, so I took that out in place of 2 of the red green check lands because theoretically it would do the same thing early game. And in this build, you only really need to charge 1 multicolor, so just having 1 in the energy is all you need. And if you get it on early off, then you're better off set in the later game.
And comparing my deck from last week, yellow green Broly with the rival stuff from our last anniversary stuff. I had this is how prepared I am. I don't remember the person's name, unfortunately. I'll put it on the screen. Commented on the last, or one of the videos this was on last week, kind of explaining things to go differently, and I gave me their deck list so I kind of look at it, compare, and I decided to go this approach. So the approach is I threw the unisons in here. And initially I took them out of this deck because our local has a tendency to just go for unisons. So you won't be able to get a lot of the activate battle effects because the activate battle requires it to not be in battle. So it's kind of you want to play it later turns, swing, get a rival, though you go ahead and get it to like 3-ish markers on your turn or potentially 3 markers on your opponent's turn using blockers to take the hits for you, which is pretty nice. And I also put in the 6-drop yellow green Broly from that was an old expansion, I think, right? I think it's going all out or something like that.
The one in your energy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's from the Miraculous Collection.
Yeah. So a lot more rival based stuff, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than last week. I think last week I got to the point where I'm like, I don't even care anymore. But this gave me a whole new insight to it, which was really nice.
So Bancroft, can you explain the interaction that just happened? Because you kind of stopped me mid swing on my attack with the Vegeta. So
Okay, so this card, when played or switched to active mode by a skill during your turn, blanks a card. So since I played it, it blanked a card. And then the activate battle is that you put this card in rest mode to KO one of your opponent's skillless battle cards, energy cost 4 or less, if correct.
so you were able to blank the skills and tap it all in one, or KO it in one go.
Yeah. I feel like since you tapped out, you're done with your turn, so I didn't need a blocker to continue going for that turn.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, all my matchups this night, everybody did a lot of self-awakening. So my job as an early aggro deck was actually really easy for me. I was able to keep a lot of stuff in hand. I didn't really need to push that hard because my first game was against Gogeta Xeno, which was taking his own life. This matchup, you were taking your own life. My third was King Cold, same thing, taking his own life. So it was really easy for me just to hang back and then just push essentially wherever I wanted to. I didn't have to commit to anything really early. So it was kind of nice. I liked it.
Did I not correct that? So there is a misplay on my part. This is game 2. I remember I messed up game 1 with this auto, but I thought I corrected by game 2. We'll see on further matches, further turns what happens. But when you activate the +1 on the Unison, if you take a card, you have to discard a card. And it looks like I did not discard a card.
That's
Bancroft
easy.
cheats. I mean, this deck needs everything it can take, so I don't think that's too big of an issue.
So here I can't remember.
So here,
yeah, you swung to my Unison. Yeah.
yeah, I swung with the Chronoret, mostly just because I wanted to just bait out a negate. It was easy in this context because I mean, even if you didn't let it go through, you were going to remove a marker from the Unison, so it was kind of a win-win for me. Just so when it gets to time for where I go for game, it'll be one less piece out of your hand.
Yeah. And here you swung the lead, and I'm letting it go because I have the activate battle on the Unison, which allows me to combo from my drop area one card with its skills negated to potentially arrival another card afterwards.
Yeah, this is a pretty unique matchup too because I do have the potential to combo kill. So a lot of decks that really hurts hurts their decks, but in this matchup in particular, you had a lot of sneaky ways to recover. So I was really surprised by that, honestly. So there you go. I arrive at the Broly, which is one of my bigger pieces in the deck where I can combo kill and neg stuff on play. And then you just tapped it on play, which is solid. One less swing.
I don't remember if I awaken during this set or not, this defensive attack. I might, though.
I don't think you do. I think you wait until your turn.
Let's find out. I love this Android 13 because it doesn't require the leader to be yellow or Android to get the free combo on it, which is pretty nice. And that's where you like kind of that sneaky element there is that I'm able to just continuously get combos where I need them to do my rivals.
Yeah, because a lot of decks when they do their rival plays, they only really have one combo, and that's one free multicolor combo. But seeing you with the Unison able to do it twice, it's really powerful for your deck. Gives you a lot of consistency.
And what's also great about that activate battle, when you tap the card, it does not have to be in rest mode. So
That's good.
So I was able to negate your super combos abilities and then immediately take care of them there.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised by the amount of removal that this deck had. You don't really see it a lot with the green yellow combo, but you were able to do it. You were able to do it a lot. Keep my board relatively clear for most of the game.
And there, no targets, which is really odd. I think I play because the super combos are Frieza's army. There's like I think 14, 16 different Broly cards. I feel like might be wrong on that number. So just whiffing on that really was bad because it also has to be a yellow-green card. It can't just be Frieza's army yellow or green. It has to be a yellow and green multicolor card.
That's kind of specific.
Because I think that's all the Mecha Frieza in that top 5, but I couldn't pull it.
Is that something you normally whiff on, or do you normally hit your targets with that?
I think that was the only time I whiffed on it that night.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
But for some reason, I did whiff on the idea of discarding a card, so it's okay if I didn't find a card.
Is it though?
Probably not. So here I'm figuring what's best. Do I just kind of do some cleanup work and then focus on your life while having keeping body blockers on board to be safe?
Yeah, because it's turn 3 and I'm at a pretty high life total, which is rather odd for me. I usually try to run some type of self-awakeners or let my opponent just hit me. But in this case, it was a pretty slow burn on my life, so I was I was kind of taken aback why he just swung at the Broly, because it kind of just wasn't doing anything. But I mean, it was better than that in my life.
I think I didn't want to push you too far, um, to your comfort zone, because I think you need 3 life, if correct, to do all your Broly stuff.
Yes, my surge ability on the back is 3 life or less.
So this was a misplay, unfortunately, on my part. Um, I knew that 6 drop was gonna be a problem, and this is actually the first couple fights or games I played with this new 6 drop added to it. The 6 drop has 2 autos. One is just, I think it's like KO on your opponent's battle cards in rest mode or something like that if its energy cost is greater than the current energy. The other one is, I think the first auto, it doesn't have to be in rest mode if I'm correct. It might be. I'll put it on the screen. But the second auto is draw 1 card. Here I'm reading to myself like, that's great. And then KO one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode if it's a skillless. I think I have to double check that. But I realized I could have done the second auto and got the draw and still popped a card just fine. But I missed out on that, unfortunately. And that's where, when I was talking to the guy, or on the comments I had, where this deck actually draws a lot more than I expected it to do, while changing over to just doing all 4 of the Chilai super combos, which doesn't draw for you. But I felt like almost every card I play now has a draw to it, which is pretty nice. Oh, we didn't talk about this, but we talked about it on yesterday's video. As a reminder, we immediately put the ban into effect as soon as they announced it at our locals. So there is only one power of this Super Saiyan in this deck.
Let's
We
be
like to be ahead of the curve. So with my defensive step, I was okay at this point because, I mean, as you can see, I played 2 super combos, and I still get the leader effect where if I combo with a green or red card, I can draw a card. So with the 1 Paraga super combo, I'm effectively drawing 3. So I was fine, just letting that attack bounce, because I want to save my awaken for my turn if possible, just because I can extend my plays better and push better.
Yeah. So I went and took the life to reset one of my blockers to have it ready to go. And I don't think at this point I have not seen an 8-drop Broly yet, unfortunately, which is kind of upsetting. You swing of lead. I go, okay, no negates. Okay, I do Forbidden Power, but I do not call a blocker because I was like, okay, whatever he's gonna do, I can out combo it or whatever, and then just block his second attack. This is where I realize when you start to combo up in a second, I'm like, oh, he could get double strike on his leader's awakened ability, and then I knew I was in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, usually when someone's at low life total, either the 3 to 2 range, because I do run the scramble SCR as well. Usually when someone's in the 3 to 2 range, that most of my attacks just stop going through. So usually when someone says no response, that's when my ears perk up and I'm like, are you sure? Because this deck can really capitalize on that and punish. Because if the leader swing's going through and it's a double strike, all I have to do is just combo my hand, and that's pretty much it. And even with the leader ability, I can combo from my drop area too. So as you see here in a minute, I will combo my Paraga super combo, which is still live, so I get even more drawn value out of that too. So essentially at this point, I'm just comboing the world.
Yeah, see, I think I had another 5-drop in my hand, so like if you would have played the Piccolo, I was prepared for that. But I just completely forgot that the leader could gain double strike on its awakened side. And like I said, as soon as you put that second card there is when I think I realized I was like, I just fucked up.
Yeah, and I've played this deck quite a bit, so most people know that Piccolo's there, and I do what I can to get that on the board. So a lot of people prepare for that rather than my other plays. And at this point, I just capitalize.
And like next turn, man, if I would have blocked first and maybe played a little bit differently, I could have Cell Xeno you next turn, but I don't know how that could have gone. You know, like what you had ready for that and whatnot. But it is what it is. Know your cards. That's one of the things we say, or know your opponent's cards in this case. But hope you enjoyed today's video. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen. And like always, read your cards, know your plays, and fluff out.